I think it's been an interesting spring. I've seen our football team grow in a lot of ways, and I think there was some really good growth until you can really sit down and evaluate it. It's hard to probably make any off the cuff decisions on what you saw, but I saw some really good. It's like I told our football team, it's great to see good, but who can consistently be good? And that's our greatest challenge. And I told our team that on Monday. Through at that time through 9 practices, you saw some guys really straining to be consistent. And I think as you look through spring practice, it's one of the things you hope to get out of it is who can consistently play at a high rate that gives us a chance to be successful. And, are we totally there yet? We're not, but I think you see a lot of strain to get there and a lot of growth in those areas. I mean, Joel made some great plays out there. I know I said this, and maybe we even talked about it earlier, that Joel's one of those guys, I think when you're just ready to doubt his athleticism, the kid plays he's so athletic, he's a very physical football player. I think him playing on offense for 3 to 4 years and really having an understanding what the offense is doing allows him to be really active, and it allows him to really have a great awareness on defense. And again, I think guys have really rallied around that. He made some big plays out there today, and you're only going to see him continue to get better and better and better. And that's why these practices are so important for a guy like Joel Lanning, because he's really starting to settle in and understand what he's doing right now. Yeah, Matt looks great. Matt's one of those guys that I think really, until we get to fall camp, and we're not going to be silly in terms of his progression, of are we going to try to put him out there? Are we going to try to, we've really done a great job, I think, of making sure that we didn't get him hurt. We kind of held off in terms of like how much are we going to give him. But I think what you see is a foundation to Matt that's really starting to build, and it's going to be really fun once we get through the summer and into fall. Well, the first thing has been our mentality. I think last year at this time, guys were counting the days till spring practice was over and being ready to be done. This year, this football team, really, from the day we came back in January till where we're at right now, the majority of this team has really understood the value when nobody's watching, when you guys aren't here, when the fans aren't in the stands, how critical our success and growth is. Going in the weight room every day, getting bigger and stronger, putting yourself in a position to come out and practice when nobody's watching. Tuesday, Thursday practicing. Maybe we're not keeping score that day, and you got to go out there and you got to compete and you got to be your very best. I think there's been a great buy-in value to that and an understanding of that, and understanding that it is a one day at a time process to get where you want to go. And success at the end of last football season, and failures at the end of last season. Here you are, you get in the fourth quarters of games and we don't make those plays. Why does that happen? What are you doing when nobody's watching to sacrifice this year when we need you to make those plays? And so I think there's been a lot of lessons learned, and the mentality of this football team is certainly way different than what I saw a year ago. And all that does is give you a chance. But that's probably the greatest growth I've seen in this football team in a year.